got myself some bicycle wheels. Should've got myself some bicycle wheels.
Hi riders, thank you for joining me for this Yoga Sissel video. In this video we're going to be very much about the lower half of your body. So lower back, hips, all the way down the legs, knees, ankles, and a little bit of balance. So let's stretch out the legs, get them really, really long, but also to get there, we'll move them so that they limber up a little bit, like trying to get a pizza dough a little bit more pliable. So you can prepare to get dirty, just play around on the grass, or if you've got a mat, excellent, roll it out. If you're doing this at home, or if you're doing this on your deck, wherever you might be doing this. And stand with your feet a little wide in the hip distance, bend into your knees, hang out. And then from here, just take your hands all the way up, stretching up, and now bend your knees a lot, round your back, touch the floor. So really bending the knees, and then keep the knees bent. You squeeze your butt to roll you all the way up, stretch up. And 2 more times, bend the knees to roll down. So everybody can touch the ground. None of this, oh, I'm not flexible enough to touch the ground. You just have to bend the knees even more. And again, squeeze your butt. Reach up. And you'll notice little by little, the more you do this sort of thing, the easier it will be to touch the ground with the straighter legs. Good. And then coming all the way up. Reaching up, holding onto your right wrist. And lean to the left, stretching out the side body. Bend your knees, and you roll from the side all the way down. Let your head drop. And squeeze your butt to roll up. Reaching your hands up, holding the opposite, and you lean. You bend a little into the knees, push down into the feet, and then you curl down all the way, touch the floor, and roll all the way up. And then rolling down, touch the ground. You might already notice just a little bit by moving the back of the body, moving the whole body, your back body's getting a little longer. Now, fingers stay on the floor, or if it is really uncomfortable, bring your hands to your shins, but push your shins forward. So it's pushing your legs against the hands and the hands back against the legs. You're gonna lift the chest and lift the chest and chin, and relax the head. Or if your fingers stay on the ground, or if you're able to touch the ground, your fingers stay there. Lift the chin, lift the chest, and relax down, let the head drop. One last time, lifting the chest, lifting the chin. This time stay here, and now stick your neck out, reach your head forward, really getting the spine long, and relax. Roll all the way up, stretch up, and roll all the way down. Good. Now bring your feet together. You're gonna drop your butt as low as it can, keeping the heels on the ground. You might come down a little, you might come down a lot. And then you're gonna use your butt to push up into what's called chair pose. And you want your spine and your shins parallel. So curl forward, touch the ground. One more time, drop your butt. The level of flexibility in your ankles will very much determine what your pose looks like. So you've got a lot of flexibility in your ankles, let your knees come forward and lean more forward. You'll have even weight distribution down into your feet. If you've got limited flexibility in your ankles, your shins will be more upright, your spine will be more upright. One more time, touch the ground. And squatting down low, push up. And this time now, squeeze your butt, push all that to standing, stretch up. Bring your hands down to your heart, lift onto your tiptoes. Now as you lift onto the tiptoes, hug your ankle bones together. Slowly touch the heels down. Reach your hands up. And hands to heart. Lift your heels up high. Whoa. And that can be hard to do in shoes, especially if you're wearing cleats. I highly recommend taking your shoes off. Stretch up. Free your toes. And again. Good. And then from here, keep your heels up high. Slowly bending the knees, touch the ground. Good. Keep the heels up high, chest and chin forward, and then drop the head, lower the heels. Good. Now, while we're down here, I am going to take my shoes off, my socks off, because there is nothing better than releasing my feet after they've been stuck in riding shoes and socks for far too long. You are most welcome to join me. Good. So now from here, feet together, coming down into your little squat, pushing up into your chair pose, hands to heart, staying in your chair pose, lift the heels. And reach forward. Heels down. Heels lift, hands to heart. Heels down, hands forward. And one more time. Hands to heart, heels lift. Now, push yourself up to standing. Stretch your hands up. It's like you're a rocket taking off. Keep your heels up high. Touch the ground. Good. Fingers on the floor. Bend the knees as much as you need. Lift your chest and chin. And then let your head drop. Heels touch the ground. And then you roll all the way up. Reach your hands to the sky. And bring your hands down. Take your feet hip distance. Bending into your knee. And then you're going to bring the right knee up to your chest. Hug the air around your knee. So you're really trying to bend at each joint. Flexing the heel, bending the knee. Or flexing the ankle rather. And then you're going to push your big toe into the ground, straighten out your leg, straighten out your arms, like you're running through a doorway and your hands catch either side of the frame. And again, hug, flexing your foot. This time, bring the back of your hands to your lower back. As you press your big toe down, straighten your leg, lift your chin and chest. Right. And again, hug. Good. Now hold on to the knee, keep your knee to your chest as you stand up. Good. Here comes the balancing. One hand onto the hip, the other stays on the knee. Take your knee out to the side. Squeeze your butt like you're trying to push your pelvis forward. So I'm trying to push my pelvis towards the camera. And bring the leg back. Good. And then from here, we're going to stretch the leg out behind, up towards the sky as your fingers touch the ground. Standing split, don't be afraid of the knee. Squeeze your butt. Step back into a long lunge. Good. It's like a long runner's lunge. I'll turn to the side so you can see me. Long runner's lunge. Then you bring your right heel to the ground. Front knee bends, front knee on top of front ankle. Front arm onto the thigh, so left leg is the front leg for now, left elbow, left thigh, and then stretch your right arm out past your ear. Now we're not hanging out here. You push your elbow down to the thigh so that you can press your ribs up a little higher. Stretch your fingers out past the ear. And again, squeeze your butt, press your pelvis forward. And you're trying to get that feeling of stretch in the front of your hip. And you're trying to straighten out the leg as much as possible, stamp the foot down to the ground, strong leg without locking out the knee. So it's not locking out the knee, you're trying to get the force from your buttocks down into the foot. And then bring your hand onto the hip. You're going to straighten the front leg, straighten your spine, look towards your right shoulder. And you can either have your hand reaching down towards your toes. One day they might reach your toes, so a really nice stretch for your hamstring. And then you're going to do the same thing. So bend the knee, elbow onto thigh, lift the ribs up, stretch your arm up and over. Getting really long all the way from the fingertips down the side body, down the front of the hip and the leg. And then hand onto the hip, straighten your legs, straighten your spine. Notice if you lock out the knees and keep them slightly bent. You'll also notice if your knees stay slightly bent, it's easier to push into the floor. And then from here, turn down to the ground. Hands to the ground, stepping back to your downward facing dog. So this is really nice for stretching out the entire back of your body. Bend your knees as much as you need. And you push your hands down, pull your hips back. If your heels are up high, one day your heels will be on the ground. So you pull the hips back and you slowly encourage the heels down. And then You walk your feet halfway forward, hands halfway back. Slowly roll up. Good. So, second side. We're going to stand on the right leg, and this time it's the left leg. So bring the knee up to your chest, hug the air around the knee, flexing the foot, bending all joints. And then the left big toe pushes down. Your arms stretch out, catch yourself on the door frame. And again, bend, hug the air. And the back of the hands to the lower back. Big toe presses down, chest opens. And last time, hug the air. Hold onto your shin and bring the shin with you as you lift your chest up, standing tall. You notice the higher you lift the knee, the more this standing leg has to straighten and work. Straightening out at the hips, squeezing your butt. Take the knee out to the side. And then bring the knee back to center. Pointing your toes, stretching your leg up towards the sky, touch the fingers to the floor. And now you're going to land this foot back in your long lunge. So I'll just turn so you guys can see what I'm doing. Left leg is now the back leg. Right leg is the front leg. Knee on top of ankle. Elbow into thigh. Push down into the leg to lift the ribs up. And stretch out as far as you can. Now notice what happens if you relax your butt. Notice how much stretch you get if you squeeze your butt. Hand onto the hips, straighten the legs, straighten the spine. Either reach towards your toes or hold onto your leg and pull up against the resistance of your leg. That'll give you a bit of side core workout. And then again, bend the knee. Lift the rib cage, stretch your hands up and over. Squeezing the butt. I think I say that a lot, but it makes a big difference. And hand onto the hips, straighten the legs, straighten the spine. Either reach for your toes without dropping and collapsing, or pull yourself up and away. And then turn down to the ground, downward facing dog. Yeah, just using this as a nice stretch. And then hands and feet meet halfway. Roll all the way up to standing, taking your hands to the sky. Good. So you can either do the same variation with the legs bent that we just did, our standing balancing, or we're going to straighten the legs. Starting with the right leg, knee to chest, hug the air, and big toe to the ground, open your arms. Now bring your knee to your chest. Either hold onto the shin and lift up, or if you're game, hold onto your foot, hand on the hip, and straighten the leg. And from here, you might take the leg out to the side. Your hand is pulling on the foot, your foot is pushing on the hand, opening at the hips. Keep squeezing your standing leg. And then coming back to center. Now, release your leg, hold on to it. Or if you want to try a little more, hold on to with both hands, head to knee. And then everybody's going to bring their fingers to the floor, set your leg up to the sky, get a nice stretch into the standing leg, feet on the floor. Roll up. Stretch up. Second side. So bend in the left knee, and the left knee lift, hold and hug. Big toe on the floor. Stretch your legs, stretch your chest, your arms, squeeze your butt. And then again, hug the knee. And either holding onto the knee as you lift up, or hand to foot pose, stretch your leg forward. Once, if and when you feel stable and balanced, take your leg out to the side. This hand on the hip is trying to pull you back. So your pelvis wants to stay facing forward. And then you come back to center. And some of you, again, might just keep your leg there. Some of you might add on that forward bend, holding onto the foot. And then we'll all bring the fingers to the floor, the leg up towards the sunshine. And feet to the floor. Fingers on the mat, chest and chin lift. And head drops. Notice if your legs are feeling a little longer already. Roll up. Stretch up. Good. Now, standing on your left leg, bending into your knees, lift your right hip, lift your right knee, and then hold onto the knee. Take your knee out to the side, and then finding a tree pose. Foot comes to the inside of the leg. If it doesn't quite work, foot on the thigh. Your foot can be on the inside of your shin, but just don't rest it on the knee. If your balance is feeling really funky, big toe on the floor, heel just above the ankle. So wherever you are in your tree pose, still this standing leg is super strong from the buttocks all the way down to your foot. Then bring your knee to your chest, left hand to left knee. And you might keep your right hand on the back of your hip for a little twist. You might stretch back for a full twist. You might go all gung-ho, hold the foot, straighten the leg, reach back, deep standing twist, stretching the leg, and then release. Take your hands up and touch the ground. So this little standing salute is one of the best things you can do to release tension in the entire back of your body. Rolling up, reaching up. Good. So finishing our little standing sequence on the left. Bend into both knees, lift your left hip, left knee. Pull the knee a little higher and then take it out to the side. You can even choose to stay here if you feel like this feels really nice. Or you find your tree pose. This is really great for opening into the hips. You do the same version you did on the first side, so either foot on thigh, shin, or big toe on the ground. You have to engage that standing leg from the buttocks, the hip, all the way down to your foot. Squeeze your butt, feel it help to open into the hip, and then bring your knee back into the chest. Hold onto the opposite knee, and you either stay here for a little twist, slightly deeper twist, or hold onto the foot and twist a lot, stretching the leg, the outer hip, and then gently release. Good. Reach your hands all the way up and touch the ground. Fingers on the ground, lifting your chest and chin, and relax. Lift your chest and chin, stake your neck out, getting really long in the back of your legs and your spine, and stay here. Now you're going to bend the right knee, and you're going to peel your right hand up towards the sky. Getting a twist across your back, stretch across the left leg, and you're going to bring your right hand down. Bend your left knee, straightening the right knee, and your left hand stretches up. And touch the ground. And lift your head, chest, and relax. Have your feet hip distance, hold on to your elbows, bend your knees a lot, let your belly rest on the thighs, let your head drop. And you just feel the spine pouring out of the back of your hips down towards the ground. One day you'll be able to straighten your legs a little more. Maybe sway low from side to side. And then slowly, gently release your hands to the floor. Bring your feet together. And keeping your heels on the ground, feet together, knees together, squat down as low as you can. So you might stay here. At some point you might need to lift the heels to come down. If you can, you keep the heels as low as you can on the ground. Or you reach forward, stretch into your Achilles. If you need to lift the heels, that's okay. And then you slowly work to press the heels down. Get a really nice stretch into your calf muscles, your Achilles, even the soles of your feet. You can try by making fists with your hands and stretching forward. So you counterbalance the weight. And then finally, come down onto your butt. Good. Now welcome to the ground. Let's continue all the way down onto our backs. Don't be afraid of getting a bit dirty. So from here, we're going to bring our right knee into the chest. Actually, we'll start with the left, so you can see what I'm doing with my right leg. Bring your left knee into the chest, hold on to it, and let that foot relax. Stretch your right leg up towards the sky. Pull your toes back towards your face and press the heel up. So trying to stretch the entire back of your leg. And then now point the toe to the opposite. I'm trying to stretch the front of your ankle. Flexing the foot. Now reach your heel out as far as you can. Reach out as far as you can. And once your heel touches the floor, point the toe and then lift the foot up. Again, flex the foot, reach your heel away. Pressing the heel down into the ground. Squeeze your butt to get there. Point your toe, lift up. One more time, flex the foot, press your heel away. Slowly lowering the leg and press your heel down. Squeeze your butt, feel it release into the front of the leg. Point the toe and then flex the foot, squeeze your butt. And then keeping your foot flexed, lift the leg up. Feels a little different, making a few circles with your ankles. Feels really good, especially if you've got bare feet. Toe liberation. And then from here, swap sides. So holding onto the right knee and push your left heel up towards the sky. You can point the toe and then flex the foot. And you're going to press your heel far, far away. Slowly keep your toe and your knee, toes and knees pointing up. Reach your heel far away. Press the heel down into the ground. Point the toe, lift up. And do this nice and slow. It's not a mechanical movement. You can even use the breath, so it's a nice slow breath down. Point the toe and slowly inhaling up. Exhale to flex the heel. Inhaling to press the heel down. And exhale, staying here. Press the heel down to the ground. Squeeze your butt, especially the left butt cheek. Notice the connection between strong butt cheeks and hip stretching. Then point your toe. Again, flex the foot. Like you're trying to press the entire top of the thigh down. And then keep your foot flexed. Lift up. Make a few rotations with your ankle in one direction and then in the other. And then from here, bring your knees down. So back to the left, hold on to the left leg. Right leg stretches out. A little nice gentle twist. You're probably very familiar with this. Right hand holds the outer left knee. And then bring the knee across your body. Oh, it feels so good. But instead of just hanging out here, you're going to push your knee up into the hand. So it's like your knee doesn't quite want to touch the ground. It's a bit afraid of the ground. Keeping slight engagement across the outer hip. Reaching your left fingers back. You might even turn to look at the left fingers. And then bring the knee in. Lift up, swap sides. So the right knee comes into your chest, left hand on the outside of the knee. Reach your right hand back and just take the leg across your body. And then once you're in your deepest twist, the knee pushes up into the hand. So it's kind of like it wants to do that. Your back hand can reach out, stretching across the chest. And then when you're done, bring the knee in, roll onto your back. Bend both knees. Now we're going to do quite a strong stretch for your quads. So we are all fairly quad dominant, front body dominant. Leave your legs bent, leave your left leg where it is, and tuck your right foot underneath the left leg. You might even be able to reach your right foot with your left hand. Place your right hand underneath your back and feel your back flatten out. So you try to squash your hand. Squeeze your butt. You might already notice it stretches into the front of your hip and into the quad. Now try to kick your foot into the hand. Butt squeezing, foot kicking, and the quad stretches. So it's an active stretch to begin with. If this feels like a piece of cake, you can even take your knee into your chest, and that's going to deepen even more the stretch. Keep your back flat. So I find that super intense. I'm just going to keep my foot on the floor. Now you're going to relax the kicking of the foot, and you're just going to pull your foot even closer and squeeze the back of your knee, back of your right knee. And notice it's going to stretch somewhere else in your quad. Relaxing the breath. Keep your back flat. And relax the leg completely, swap sides. You can even stretch the leg out, give it a bit of a shake. Good. So the right foot's on the floor and the left foot tucks under. If you can hold onto the foot, great. Left hand to your lower back and squash that one. Squeeze your butt. Squash your hand, squeeze your butt, and kick your foot into the hand. Noticing what you're feeling, where you're feeling it. And then from here, if you did this on the first side, you can bring your knee into your chest. And then you're just going to relax your butt cheek. You're going to relax the kick. And you pull your foot a little closer to your butt. Squeeze the back of your knee. Feel the quad stretch move to a different part of your muscle. And then relax. Maybe stretch that leg out, give it a bit of a shake. And then one you're probably going to be very familiar with. Flex the left foot, bring your ankle to the outside of your left ankle to the outside of your right knee. You can reach through, hold either onto the back of your thigh or the front of your shin. Relax the right foot, flex the left foot. And you're trying to bring the right knee closer, but your left knee away. Now we've done a lot of butt strengthening to help release at the hips and the front of the body. So we actually don't want to stretch the butt too much. So we won't hold this very long. And relax. Stretch this leg up. You can walk your hands up and swap sides. Stretch your leg up, flex the foot, right ankle onto the left knee. And this for some might already feel like super intense. Great, stay there. Or you hold the back of the thigh or the front of the shin. Left knee towards you, right knee away from you. Staying here for a few gentle breaths. And then placing the foot on the floor. Stretch your right leg up towards the sky. You can either stay here, that might already feel intense, or lift your head and shoulders, walk your hands up the leg. And then relax. Stretch your legs out along the ground. Reach your hands out behind you. And then take your hands out to a T shape. Let your feet flop to the side. And just pause for a moment. Not a care in the world. Let yourself get super heavy. Let your shoulders drop down to the ground. Let your hips drop down to the ground. Let your thigh muscles melt. And you can stay here as long as you like. You even set a timer on your phone if you're afraid of falling asleep. And whenever you feel you're ready, you roll onto your side and you slowly push yourself up. And just pause for a moment, sitting comfortably without getting a head rush. And then from here you move on, go about your day, pack up your bike, head home, get some food, do what you need to do, maybe a shower. Thanks for joining. Namaste.
Got myself some bicycle wheels. Should've got myself some bicycle wheels. Should've got myself some bicycle wheels. On the wings of steel. Should've got myself some bicycle wheels. Should've got myself some bicycle wheels. Should've got myself some bicycle wheels. On the wings of steel.